Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I've got turn 26, the second round of Lucid's tournament. Let's go ahead and hop on in. We got two messages from TNG. Hi Cookies. Oh boy, this past turn has had some serious developments. Snatching up the Eternal Knights and finding the Throne of the Artificer may have just made a huge shift in my game plans. Let me explain what's going through my mind right now. Sounds like scaling. Let's see. If all goes as planned next turn, Patala should have nothing serious left in their capital. So I killed off all of their mage thugs in the last stand battles. Yeah, and I really like how Patala did that. I would much rather die outside the fort than waiting for overwhelming force to gather outside my cap. With friendly Dominion on their capital, I should be safe to fluff up my pretender and send him flying into his castle and clean up. That's a little bit dangerous. I would maybe send some troops with, but I think it could also just work. Opening up shop has let me get an insight into much of the wars that are going on. From what I know of the game state, almost everyone is at war with each other, and no big battles have taken place as far other than the Man-Pyrene battle. That's not true. We've definitely had some big fights. Which means as long as everyone else is playing chicken with each other with their big armies, I can lay low, secure my spoils, tech up, and move on to some thrones. Okay, so he's gonna scale up. I still think attacking Calum would be a good move, but can't really go wrong with teching up. He started his war first, so catching up to some of the players that built 3 or 4 forts each might be a good move. Alright, and then we got one more. My original plan was to tech up to enchantment 6 and make a move on Marignan with rigor, relief, foul vapors, and an army of white thugs, since they are the main nation I am concerned with going into a potential late game. I crunched the numbers and realized I can cast relief and rigor without a communion using boosters and some lucky whites and earth randoms. Foul vapors would require 3 crystal matrices and allow me to cast big magic without risk of cheap magic duel from Mary's mages. While I will probably move forward with going down enchantment, finding the Throne of the Artificer has caused me to consider a major detour. Tech up and shoot for Construction 7 and Golems. Winning both arena fights has earned me exactly 50 fire gems, just enough to empower a Celestial Master, to make charcoal shields and rune smashers. I mean, if you're going up to Construction 7, you might as well get a bunch of lanterns, too. But, I mean, that would be a lot of power here. According to my calculations, I can make fully kitted golems for only 57 gems each after hammers, forge bonus, and artificer throne. A 35% discount from the MSRP price of 89 gems. 89? I wonder what's costing less than 5. Or if he's including the forge bonus in the 89. Anyways, although I don't think he would be. Anyway, that was a lot, and so much can change, but things are getting real exciting, and I'm seeing a serious path to victory. Yeah, as you should. I think he'll be the first person to wrap up a war, and that does leave room for vulturing, which I do think he should consider. Or at least being a bit of a bully. So, and man, some of these wars are real hot. Alright, so Gartha, still vulturing man. We got a group of cave knights while being invaded himself. Not something I've seen very frequently. But this is a way to get some income. Where are they going? Okay. Alright. Then we've got Marignon and Satis. So Marignon's moving on the fort after their big victory. And there's not much here. Alright, so we're just doing a lot of crossbows. And then in Dendra, we've got Tianchi attacking Patala. Cleaning up a big PD dump. Very nice. I don't know about fire and keep distance, but I guess that puts the damage on the Keshegs. That should work, actually. There we go. Almost lost one. Alright, that does work out. How much did he send? 56? Marignon going on Satis's capital. Oh, we're doing this with the virtue. Okay, so we got some... Oh, and there's no patrol. Yeah, you should clear all this. Let's go ahead and see all the buffs that are getting put on. Alright, so these two guys... Body Ethereal Blur, Gift of Cheated Fate. Iron Will, Temper Armor, Strength of Giants. Personal Misform, Air Shield, Fire Shield, Battle Fury. I think we're about to jump in. Oh, just gonna clear it all the hard way. So in case you were interested in what this looked like in terms of a trait set of traits, there you go. Protection versus mundane is 33. I'm curious, are we about to get... I forget when you get the 5th experience star. Maybe it's 500? These guys didn't even fire their slings. I presume because this the virtue has 30 poison res. Okay. So Satis is definitely in trouble now. With both forts under siege. Agartha attacking Kibia. We've got some knights with a little bit of body. He missed body ethereal. Bruh. Wait, can we see that again? Dude. How? Is it really that hard? Precision 8. Okay. Alright. Almost lost one there, but didn't. In Bycliff. Actually, I'm going to get some water really quick. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully I can talk again. Alright, so we got some Barb Heavy Horse. We've got a bunch of Ancestor Vessels. Clear more PD. Good. This is what I wanted to have happen a few turns ago, but better late than never. Very nice. Cleans it up. Alright, so I think that was here in Bycliff in Deep Forest. We have Atlantis attacking Agartha. Alright, loses one sacred. I feel like it's always the sacreds that die, because they don't have ice protection. But at least you can take them out of cold scales. Alright. In Urstrith, we've got Agartha attacking man, some blind fighters. I'm suspicious on that third body ethereal cast. He had to have hit at least one troop, though. Alright. So, loses 2 crossbows, TNG attacks some independents, pings them. Yeah, it's a lot of vampires. This guy's got a lot of death gems. And some blood slaves. Let's see. In Obakti, what do we got? We've got another large Atlantean army. And these armies are going to be a lot more annoying to deal with once they get Stygian Reigns. Probably some Rigor Mortis too. Loses 1 ice guard. In Hamain, we have a medley of troops. Of course, they targeted the guys. I guess they've all got shields. Yep, that was a stomp. Alright. Then in Iron Peaks, we have the dragon showing up for some PD. What's the protection here? 24? Yeah, I don't know that Stone Skin did a lot there. Let's see, where was that? That was Iron Peaks. In Remesia, we've got another ping on a throne. Nope. Oh, clearing out the knights with the Merc Company. Has some guys. So these guys were all here to eat lances. Then he's putting body ethereal. Unfortunately, they kind of got a little distracted, but then they got lucky that the knights ran. I was starting to wonder if the knights would run past and kill the mage. Where was that? That was here. Yeah, that's a fine trade. Oh, it killed both knight commanders? Yeah, I'd trade that for 26 knights. Alright. Agartha attacking Atlantis. Alright, so this is one of the bigger Agarthan armies. We have a whole wall of blind fighters. 2 rows of crossbows and another line of blind fighters. Some of these sepulchrals. And then a couple of guys doing some point buffing. Finding just PD. Oh, they got buffed with quickness. So that's kind of like the forward melee line, I guess. Loses one sapper. Then in range of faith, Atlantis gets attacked, or Atlantis attacks. Sorry. In Junol Forest, we have a smaller raid. But against the type of PD it could maybe win against. As long as the Snow Captain doesn't die, and he seems inclined to. He got down to 5 HP, he's routed. Yeah. Oh, and there were Cave Knights here. Alright. So loses 6 unsleepings, 35 gold each, kills 1 Cave Knight. Then we've got the Storming of Patala. Oh, he did bring in some troops with the cat. Okay, I think we'll be fine. So he's going to buff the cat. He's got a bunch of stuff to distract. Hopefully just charge in. There's more in here. No, there's one turn of recruitment in here. We got one Nagaraja thug with no gear. And we've got a turn's worth of Naga warriors with a few Bandar. A couple of yogis in here. Okay. No gear. I like to think the cat can win. So these guys have mobile archer. So I think I'd just send them in to attack, and then if they get stopped up on the gate, they'll actually shoot arrows at closer range. Because they don't have great precision. They've got 8. These guys have 10. They're on a wall. It's going to be a pretty lopsided fight. Let's go ahead and summon Earth Power, Regen, Astral Shield, Personal Iron Scan, Resist Magic. And then really quick, Gift of Flight, Lightning Resistance, Personal Iron Skin. And then I'm assuming these are troop buffers. Okay. Do all these Naga? They all have the Hypnotize. Cat does not seem to care, though. And then no, he did die then. That was kind of a weird set of jumps there. Where are you going, buddy? Alright. So Tianchi wins this. I guess really quick, let's go ahead and... So we kind of started off watching the cavalry, but we can see how the melee fight goes. There we go. Eventually the cavalry move in. Alright. So loses 22 crossbows, maybe 24 barb heavy horse. Kills 2 gurus, 1 Nagaraja. But yeah, takes the cap. Then we've got several indie attacks. We've got one in Bara. Big old Trog attack. This guy's not set to retreat. So that is a scripting error. Self-inflicted wound. In Pustinia, he was probably outside searching or something. We've got some barbs. And then in Casian Forest. What the heck? Shiver Leaf? Okay. There's some foul spawn around a dark vine. Oh, it's a heroes event. This is going to be really nice. Because he's defended this. So he gets... This guy's nice. He's okay, because he's inspirational. But he can lead like a raiding party. The other guy is nice because he's stealthy. So you can make him into like a little thug. He's got decent stats. This guy's a healer, which is amazing. This lady's a healer. And this lady's a healer. So on a nation with a lot of old mages, he pulled 3 healers. And he's going to actually defend them all. And then Patala is permanently vanquished. So this is here. And to give an idea, we'll take a quick look at the lineup here. And also the bless. So he does have an aging. But I forget, I'm not sure, I don't think that fixes it for all of them. Okay, so this guy is not old. Probably. 127. Yeah. I mean, some of these guys might be old age. I'm not sure how well unaging fixes it for TNG, so if somebody's played TNG, they can let me know. But generally speaking, just having a few healers is extremely nice. If anything, it opens up the option for Mind Hunt spam in the mid-game. It also means that if your thugs get bad afflictions, you can heal those afflictions, which is super nice. Yeah, I think this is a fantastic event for TNG. Definitely makes up for the Trog event in many ways. Although, I mean, ideally you don't lose the mage, but in terms of losing the province, I would absolutely lose the province for a turn to get these mages. And then, yeah, he's cleared up Patala. Oh, well, a pestilence there. That's good to know. So, yeah, TNG gets a little respite. Get to look at some thrones. They get to maybe play a little diplomacy, do some foraging. I think they're in a very good spot. They're our first free agent after First Wars. We had some late entrants to First Wars, but this is our first true free agent after the fact. They're a free agent on turn 26, which is a pretty good timing. Yeah, I think any time before turn 30 is probably pretty good. At least for a lot of wars. There's some rush builds and stuff that you can do where you can kill someone earlier. I think the earliest I've ever killed someone is like turn 13, but that's highly unusual and extremely aggressive, and I spawned very close to them. So yeah, turn 26 is great. He's got he's got 2 caps, he's got a few extra forts, opportunity for a couple of thrones. Throne of Death, you know, it might not be what he really wants, but that much death income on TNG is a lot of white mages. And we've got the Throne of Dreams, Magic, and Sloth. I think he could go down to production too and get a point of magic. I think that'd be pretty good. I'd do that. The point in death would hurt more. Throne of the Artificer down here. So that kind of leaves, what is this? Golden Throne. If he interferes with Atlantis. I mean, gnomes would be great. If he fought Calum, Throne of Air, could potentially get access to the Throne of Fortune. Yeah, I'm not seeing any growth thrones. It's been a while since I've looked. Do we not have any? Well, I guess the people that were hoping to be able to get a growth scale to offset their death scale are going to be pretty disappointed. He could... Now, I know he's talking about Construction 7. He could parlay the Death Gems into maybe a Well of Misery, but that's deep in Conjuration. But that would help offset. He could wait until then to claim it, but then he misses out on a lot of death income. Up to him to decide. Yeah, not opposed to him getting involved in another war. There's definitely opportunities. Alright. Well, congratulations to Tianchi. You have won the first war and knocked out the first player. And it was mostly a 1v1. There was some vulturing from Atlantis, but generally you got a clean 1v1. And speaking of Atlantis, they're continuing to push pretty hard. They did end up cleaning up the Sagarthan raiding group, I think. Or did it back out? Looks like it backed out. It dodged. Okay. So Agartha is setting a new front line around kind of like their cap forts. I don't know what else to call this, but they've got this four quartet of forts here. Oh, that's cool. It's a lot of dom spread. So setting a new front line. Unfortunately, Atlantis is kind of already behind it. So Atlantis moved down here. Took this, so they're tracing income all the way through. I wonder if they were hoping to get in this lake and just build a new fort in the back line. That would be so obnoxious. I mean, they might still opt to take this fort. Or this province. It's not like anyone can challenge them over it. They're still sieging this fort down. I think we're at the point where this army has to start marching over here and take a fight if he wants to save this fort. If he wants to write it off, he can, but right now all he's doing is seizing land for Atlantis. Atlantis with a strong push along this line. And then they've got some stuff here. New stuff gathering in the cap, about to head out. Got unsleepings here. Yeah, he's taken enough that he's going to go ahead and upgrade this fort as well. Ooh, the Barbs attacked on the Throne of Bureaucracy. That is unfortunate, because having that throne gives a lot of dom push for spreading scales. And that does matter for how these Ice Guard take fights. Looks like he's hired some Pikeneer mercs. And he's got Estania's warriors. Istana's warriors. Okay. Is everyone's got one turn left. I can see this group just trying to retake the throne. Yeah, this is just such a strong push. If this army dies, Agartha is going to be hurt in a real bad way. He's got two main armies left. The one in the east did perish. That raiding force got cleaned up. So Atlantis could make a run through these caves and collect a bunch more gold as well. Ooh, Wizard of High Magics. It's not an arch wizard. So it's not as crazy, but it could open up some new cross paths for Atlantis. And they are excellent researchers. Warrior mages, in this, without the archmage, the warrior mage could be an option. Atlantis has a fair number of thugs, but just like a little knight thug that can run around with a couple of little buff paths is fun. Also a combat caster. So if you get something like a fire 2 or an earth 2, I mean, there is a chance. I think it's 1 in 4 that you get a 2 in something. So I mean, you could end up with some interesting combat mages out of this. Normally, I think it's overpriced, but in the context of this particular Castle Arcanum, doesn't seem too bad. Are the wizards? Oh, the wizards are still slow to recruit, so you can get the other guys faster. What does Atlantis do? I think you just keep pressuring south and or maybe trying to secure Frosted Peaks. So you keep raiding around. And then I think ideally he gets the Cold Dominion on Frosted Peaks. Because then he can take a fight there, but presuming this army maybe goes here, I think this group goes here. Maybe at Vulture's Man. But I think it'll go here. This group could rotate onto the fort, and this army could rotate here. This is Cold 3. And if the Agartha player makes a mistake, because he should move here and then here if he wants to break the siege. The army could go anywhere. It could go sit on this fort, for all I know. But if it wants to break the siege, it should go to Deep Forest and then to Frosted Peaks, because there's no cold scales here. But if he opts to go here, you could try to catch him in a battle. Otherwise, you just rotate back onto the castle. Yeah, I mean, that's an option. What does this army do? I do wonder if it was a mistake not to force him to chase. I think he should have moved on to Packwoods, even if it was predictable. A lot of new troops. I think we're going to see some new... I mean, this group could move out, join this group, and then be about 50. Then 70, if you just roll through the forts. Then we've got 2 groups of 40 that could roll out. There's so many Atlanteans, and they're such a pain in the ass to kill. Alright, well, I'd say Atlantis is still winning this, but I mean, this army is very impressive. We'll just have to see how it does. And I am curious if either side will roll out some magic for the next army fight. Scrolling over, we've got Calum, Man, and Pyrene. So Pyrene just building up Cambion Knights in their capital. They retook their forest for the resources. I mean, getting Sleepy Mountains back would also be good. But I don't know, it might be it'd be so weird trying to figure out what's going on around me if I were Pyrene right now, unless he had a certain number of scouts that he had pulled in. It's a Calum won that huge battle last turn, so he's got this fort cracked. Presumably he'll storm, so it'll cost Man a fort. But not his most important fort. He's still got his core lands, except for the raiding by Agartha. So he is trying to rally new forces to go ahead and try to deal with this Calum army. I'm just not sure what he can do. Well, I guess what he can do is he can kill these Agarthan raiding groups. But I think Man and Pyrene might be toast. What do you do here as Calum? Do you push onto Man? Or do you go back and finish off Pyrene? I think you push at Man. He's got the stronger magic. His Pretender's dead, at least for the moment. Yeah, I think you push at Man. Do we have PD dumps? Not crazy. We do have 100 Bakemono down here. They might be a little bit hidden. Calum looking at the Greyshade Fortress here. Or Forest, sorry. Which is 3, 4, 5, 6 gems. Yeah, I think we're some way from this war still wrapping up. I think Man's got one more fight that they can take. Probably an unfavorable one, but Gifts from Heaven is definitely a wild card that makes battles dangerous. And then we'll see if Pyrene starts trying to raid out. I don't think Calum can contain both Pyrene and Man. So this could be a war that drags a bit. Atlantis Agartha also looks like it'll drag a bit. It's going to take Atlantis some time to go through all the Agarthan forts. And then Agartha keeps conquering new land to give to Atlantis. Maybe he's hoping to get Man pissed off at Atlantis because Atlantis moves through here, but I don't think Man's going to have a lot to say about any of this. All right, coming down here. Calum's, I think, still in a pretty good spot. They're about to take this fort. They can start trying to spread some dominion. They're another nation with ice protection, so getting some dominion spread is pretty good for them. See, they got the Throne of Air. Some barbarians here. But yeah, it looks like they're just raising more troops and bringing them to the front, so they're up to 300 here. So they're in a pretty good spot. I think Satis is in the better spot, though. Or not Satis, Marignon. Because Marignon's about to finish off Satis, and they're about to become our second free agent. which will also give them a lot of free roaming capabilities to interfere in these other wars that are going on. He'll probably go for taking this fort first. He might have it cracked next turn. I'm not sure. Might take 2 turns. Oh yeah, with these troops, he should crack it next turn, I think. These troops can rotate onto Cetis and help the Pretender keep it locked down. He still has 300, nearly, I don't know, let's call it 350 troops back here. So you could rotate some of these over to help out, siege things down. But I think he's starting to get the blood economy rolling. We've got a growing number of corpses here and here. He is picking up more devils here. Yeah, I think Marignan getting the blood economy rolling is going to be very scary. You could also look at some thrones. Throne of Earth would be excellent. Everyone loves gnomes. If anything, because they're, like, even if you have the paths, they're still stealthy. And the cross path is pretty uncommon in terms of all 3. You also get reinvigoration on your bless. That's really good too. Some earth gems. Earth gems are always good. Alright. So we got our first free agent. I think we're potentially about to get another one soon. And then during that time, the Calum Man Pyrene thing should still be ongoing. Gartha Atlantis should still be ongoing. And maybe we'll get some interference from our newfound free agents. So yeah, I think that's it for this one. So I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.